And that's it for tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Barry Nolan. Good night.
Comedian Brett Butler stunned viewers when she revealed part of her hidden past. Here's a sample of your thoughts on our story, Brett's mugshot. From the Simpson trial in downtown Los Angeles, I'm Terry Murphy. Beginning at 4:30, a startling turn of events in the O.J. Simpson trial, a new development outside the courtroom, a discovery which leads the murder investigation back to Chicago. We'll have live team coverage from Chicago and Los Angeles. Plus, Cato Kalin on the stand, go inside his family home in Milwaukee and hear just what his relatives think of his testimony. That's beginning on the Channel 5 News at 4:30.
Had a hard life, and she's made a lot of mistakes. But she's paid for those mistakes, and I'll tell you, I still think she's the funniest lady on TV.
Before it's news, it's hard copy. Always a headline ahead.
Channel 5 WMAQ TV, Chicago. Now, live from the NBC Tower, this is the Channel 5 News at 4:30.
What was he wearing at that time?
At the best of my recollection, I thought it was a sweat outfit.
Okay, what color was it?
Dark color.
Could you tell?
It was either blue or dark blue or black.
Those words lead to a stunning twist in the O.J. Simpson case, a twist and a startling discovery here in Chicago. Good evening, I'm Warner Saunders.
And I'm Joan Esposito. Could it be crucial evidence? Clothing recovered by Chicago police found near the O'Hare Plaza Hotel. That's where Simpson stayed in the hours following the double murder. Here's what happened. A passerby reported finding a pair of black sweatpants and an Army field jacket near the hotel. Chicago police have recovered the evidence, and authorities here have contacted the LAPD about that discovery. Our team coverage begins with Channel 5's Marianne Ahern live from the location near where the clothes were found on Chicago's northwest side. Marianne?
Joan, this is the location that Chicago police came to late yesterday, and 2 pieces of clothing were recovered here. And while there is much speculation now as to what those clothes mean, it is clear Los Angeles police want to take a very good look at them. O.J. Simpson's short stay in Chicago was here at the O'Hare Plaza Hotel, which is now under reconstruction. Chicago and Los Angeles police thoroughly searched the woods next to the hotel last summer, looking for a weapon and any other possible evidence. The investigation came up empty. A new Chicago development in the Simpson case now focuses 1 mile west of the hotel at the Catherine Chevalier Forest Preserve near East River Road and Bryn Mawr. Near this barbed wire fence, investigators recovered clothes Wednesday after a Schiller Park man watching the trial called police. That man heard what O.J. Simpson was wearing the night of the murders and recalled seeing similar clothes along a jogging trail and phoned L.A. police. Chicago investigators were sent to recover the items. They are black sweatpants and a camouflage-colored shirt, also described as an Army flak jacket. Brian Berg is the public information officer with the Cook County Forest Preserve.
No, the Chicago Police Department apprehended, if you will, took the clothes. Nobody from the district saw the clothes, took the clothes, examined the clothes.
While Chicago police dismiss this new discovery as much to do about nothing, Los Angeles investigators are very interested and want to do more testing on the clothing. As we all know, it has been 9 months since the murders, and Chicago police do dismiss this report, saying it is wacky and nonsense, according to some investigators. Nevertheless, these items apparently have been already packaged and are being sent to Los Angeles. Live in the Chevalier Forest Preserve, Marianne Ahern, Channel 5 News.
Thank you, Marianne. Our team coverage continues with the latest from Los Angeles. We go live to NBC's Tracy Savage. Tracy?
Well, I can tell you that the Los Angeles Police Department is definitely interested in finding out more about that clothing found in Chicago. No question, it could be very damaging evidence if, in fact, it is the same sweatsuit that O.J. Simpson allegedly wore the night of the murders. But you have to remember, detectives here have traced down a lot of evidence, looked at a lot of leads that turned out to be nothing. There is a reason to be skeptical. Nonetheless, the chief of police today did say the clothing will be given a very close look.
At a news conference this morning, L.A. Police Chief Willie Williams says the LAPD was notified yesterday that new evidence that could be relevant to the O.J. Simpson case has been found in Chicago.
I'm aware of the report. I'm aware of how the whole events unfolded in the last day or two, yes. I can tell you that we are certainly continuing to work closely with the Chicago Police Department and any agency that believes they have anything that may impact this particular trial or others. We will not be giving briefings on the results of any analysis, investigation, or anything like that. That would be inappropriate because there's an ongoing trial. But I can say, yes, I knew about the initiating of this particular events within about 20 minutes of our becoming aware of it.
Chief Williams wouldn't say if he plans to send an L.A. robbery homicide detective to Chicago to check out the clothing. If anyone is sent, most likely it would be Detective Bert Looper. This is L.A. Detective Bert Looper last summer, searching a field in Chicago right after the murders. He was put in charge of that part of the Simpson investigation. The Chicago search last summer turned up nothing. On the phone today, when asked about the clothing that had been found, Looper said, quote, "It's curious. I'd like to know more." Meanwhile, defense attorneys here in Los Angeles called the report ridiculous.
Totally absurd. They have nothing to do with this case. They have nothing to do with this case.
And we're back here live. Now, Detective Bert Looper, though he says he's interested in finding out more about the clothing, he is also skeptical. He says his current theory is that the clothing allegedly worn by O.J. Simpson the night of the murders was actually brought back to Los Angeles. He says he has new information that leads him to believe that that clothing was not left in Chicago after all, which is why he calls the report out of Chicago curious. Reporting live in Los Angeles, I'm Tracy Savage. Back to you.
Tracy, thank you. In courtroom action, Simpson's former house guest, Brian Cato Kalin, took the witness stand again today. Prosecutor Marcia Clark was more stern in her questioning of Kalin today. She asked him if he believed that Simpson offered him a free room because Simpson thought Kalin was romantically involved with his wife.
What did you take that to mean, Mr. Kalin? That it could possibly have been that he was thinking that I might be with Nicole.
Sexually?
Possibly that he was thinking that, yes.
But under cross-examination from defense attorney Robert Shapiro, Kalin said he never thought Simpson was angry or jealous about his relationship with Nicole Simpson.
Our Simpson team coverage continues on the Channel 5 News at 5. We're going to hear from Cato Kalin's Milwaukee relatives on what they think of his testimony. And attorney Don Hubert will join us with his expert analysis on today's court proceedings, all that at 5.
In other news, a Colorado firm that specializes in finding hidden graves is taking on the 38-year-old Molly Zelko mystery. Zelko was a Chicago journalist who battled organized crime until she disappeared in 1957. A mob informant recently claimed Zelko was murdered and buried under a Joliet sidewalk. That's where the Colorado firm NecroSearch comes in. They'll review the special radar scans of the sidewalk in question to determine if a body might be buried underneath.
3 young children and their grandmother are hospitalized tonight after a fire in their Southside Chicago home. Investigators say the fire started in a back bedroom of a second-story apartment on Laughlin Avenue. A 2-year-old girl is in critical condition. A 5-year-old boy and 7-year-old girl are listed in fair condition. The grandmother's condition hasn't been released. Investigators blame faulty wiring in a television set for starting that fire.
Steinmetz students and faculty are bracing for a showdown. There are questions about the high score racked up by Steinmetz in an academic championship. Now Steinmetz may be stripped of its title. Channel 5's Beth Spacuzza is outside Steinmetz's attorney's office on Washington and State and joins us now live with the details. Beth?
Joan and Warner, a news conference just wrapped up in the last half hour on this Dearborn high-rise behind me. In there, Chicago attorney Bob Clifford called the winning Steinmetz students victims of their own success. Right now, he is asking the Illinois Academic Decathlon Association to, quote, put up or shut up and also remove the cloud that's been hanging over these students' heads.
Steinmetz's winning academic decathlon team stands with mouths opened in disbelief. The title of tops in the state may be gone. Members say they're losing a whole lot more than a trophy and medals.
The way I look at myself has changed because now I see that people don't believe in me.
Former local school council president Dr. Thomas Murray.
The fact that Steinmetz scores went up by some 9,000 points since last year is just fact as far as we're concerned. The kids earned it.
Leaders at Whitney Young admit they're challenging the results, but the students at Steinmetz are smart enough to read between the lines. They're being called cheaters.
I couldn't figure out any ways to cheat on these tests. The proctors constantly walk around the room. You can't copy off another person because you're far spaced.
Dr. Murray calls something else that's happening at Whitney Young a definite conflict of interest.
A school that is in a competition should not be represented on the group sponsoring the competition.
And sums up the whole ordeal as
Sour grapes. Somebody didn't like the fact that they lost.
And for student Eric Krysiak, it's a whole lot more serious than that.
And that's going to affect us for the rest of our lives. There's no way to be proven innocent from being slandered, etc. There's always going to be a seed of doubt.
We just spoke with Joan Eisenberg. She is the executive director of the Decathlon Board just a few moments ago. At this point, she said there is nothing official yet on whether or not Steinmetz will, in fact, be stripped of its title. Reporting live from Staten, Washington, Beth Spacuzza, Channel 5 News. Back to you, Joan and Warner.
Beth, thank you.
Coming up, you could call them the luckiest kids in town.
Congratulations. Put a smile on your face. Aren't you happy?
How these students got the hottest tickets in Chicago.
Live with this illness every day, both victims and their families.
Still ahead, the wife of the country's most prominent Alzheimer's patient comes forward for your help.
But first, it was supposed to be a routine operation, one performed on kids every day, but it ended tragically for one 4-year-old. That story up next in Health Watch.
The days are getting longer, but you don't have a second to lose because it's day and night savings time at your local Buick dealer. All week long, we're staying up late to bring you deals that will open your eyes. We've marked thousands of new Buicks throughout our inventory with special day and night savings time prices, and these markdowns are yours in addition to factory incentives. So wake up because it's day and night savings time at your local Buick dealer, and you can't afford to wait.
This Sunday and Monday, Heilig Myers Furniture presents a sale so big, so special, it's guaranteed. Heilig Myers' greatest 2-day sale. Sunday and Monday only. Every single item in every single store is on sale. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, carpet, jewelry, for 2 days only. If it's not already marked down, we'll mark it down on the spot. Guaranteed. Heilig Myers' greatest 2-day sale. The Sunday and Monday sale so big, it's guaranteed.
We're Heilig Myers.
Hi, how are you? This is really a nice dress, but it's really not hard to be a fashion consultant in a store like the basement. May I?
Yes, I guess. Can I ask who you are?
Yeah, I'm the chairman of the company. I feel like just diving in there and working the racks right alongside them.
Shouldn't you be at a board meeting or something?
We got the best brands at the lowest possible prices. I think that, that is really chic. I mean, that's what we're all here for.
Do you do this all the time?
This is my life.
You go around and help all the shoppers?
Hi, I'm Peter Clifford of Clifford Chrysler Plymouth in Buffalo Grove. You've already heard from the press that our cab-forward designed cars and minivans are at the top of their class. Now is the time to buy from the highest volume Chrysler Plymouth dealer that has saved more and sold more than any dealer, not only in all of Chicago, not only in all of Illinois, but the #1 volume dealer in all of 48 states, right here in Buffalo Grove. So for the best prices, service, and selection, visit Clifford Chrysler Plymouth, minutes from O'Hare, east of 53 on Dundee Road in Buffalo Grove.
In New York City, a routine medical treatment turns tragic when a 4-year-old girl dies after undergoing a tonsillectomy. Desiree Wade underwent the operation Friday. Tuesday, the little girl died. An autopsy has shown that death was caused by post-operative bleeding. The surgery was performed at St. Luke's Hospital in New York City. Pediatricians say less than 2% of children will have bleeding after a tonsillectomy, but there are never any guarantees.
You have surgery, any kind of surgery, there are risks. And it's important for the parent to understand the risks and the benefits of the surgery.
Doctors say Desiree underwent the surgery because her tonsils were enlarged.
Let's turn now to stories making headlines in Channel 5's Dateline. In Japan, police find more dangerous chemicals at the headquarters of a militant religious cult. Experts say the chemicals could be used to make the type of nerve gas released in Tokyo's subway earlier this week. The cult's leader denies any link between his group and the gas attack.
In Greece, farmers and store owners set up flaming barricades on a third day of demonstrations over a tax increase. Burning tires on the streets of Larissa produced enough smoke to stop traffic on the nearby National Highway. Some shopkeepers refused to open their stores. Demonstrators want the socialist government to repeal a law which sets minimum levels of taxation, regardless of income.
In South Africa, Britain's Queen Elizabeth helps dedicate a memorial to 6,000 black World War I veterans. The Queen joined South African President Nelson Mandela for the ceremony held near Johannesburg. The visit to South Africa by the Queen and her husband, Prince Philip, is the first by a reigning British monarch since 1947, the year before apartheid was legalized. And here's Ron Majors live in the newsroom with a look at some of the stories we're working on for 5 o'clock. Ron?
Warner at 5 will have a special report from the Holy Land.
This is Carol Marine in Jerusalem with Cardinal Bernardine as he addresses the issue of anti-Semitism, past and present. That's coming up at 5.
And then Cato Kalin's day on the witness stand. Now the defense has turned to grill him. And from Prospect Heights, the story of a 7th grader and what happened after his fight with school bullies. That and more coming up right here at 5 o'clock. Joan?
Thank you, Ron. The Denver Zoo's favorite siblings are getting a new home. Polar bear cubs Klondike and Snow made the move to new accommodations today. Zoo officials say the cubs' new surroundings will provide them with hours of fun and excitement. They've become the most popular attraction at the zoo since pretty much since they were born 6 months ago. Visitors wait as long as an hour to get even a glimpse of them.
You could call her Stephen King's #1 fan.
Go on back to bed, honey. Your father and I are just having a little discussion here.
Still ahead, a review of Kathy Bates' performance in King's latest movie.
But first, investigators want to know why a woman died just hours after having breast implant surgery. That story's up next in Health Watch.
The new Jimmy has all the strength of a GMC truck, including 50 advances in sound isolation. So it's easy to keep the outside world outside. See the all-new Jimmy at your Chicagoland and Northern Indiana GMC truck dealers.
On the Channel 5 News at 5, when George Carson was being relentlessly bullied at school, he had nowhere to turn but home. At 5, how his mother is using a little-known state loophole to help her son fight back. Coming up on the Channel 5 News at 5.